It's a Bitcoin podcast. The only one that's taking your money is you. Listen to the Bitcoin podcast. So hold on and listen to the Bitcoin podcast.
All right. Ha! Welcome back. Yes. Ha-ha. Welcome
My
back
man.
to the Bitcoin Podcast, episode 369. Will the real stablecoin please stand up?
Please
I'm the
show up.
will show up. Did I get that wrong?
Yeah, show up is the title. Play on words.
Oh, well, happy accident. Happy accident. I'm the host that talks first.
I'm the second host, Dr. Corey Petty, at your service.
And I'm the third host, Jessie Broke.
Where are you at,
Jesse,
Jesse? It
it's a man broke.
looks like you're about to have a duel with
I
someone.
like this dude with his he's got his new background, put NFTs up there.
That's
He's
an
in-
official NFT.
He's
we
in.
made.
I think he's in the metaverse.
I think so.
I'm living in it, yeah.
He's in the metaverse now.
Why did you sigh so deeply after that?
Because the metaverse is just some gimmick. Like there's so much gimmicks.
I think there's
so many gimmicks.
I think there's a Discord called the Metaverse, and it's got a bunch of folks in it that are doing NFT stuff.
So it was very funny. I was watching a show recently where a guy randomly, YouTube puts randomness in your life. That's why I love YouTube. And some random podcaster was talking about NFTs, and he was like, "What metaverse?" Or he said, "Yeah, when this all moves to the metaverse, then things are just going to be crazy and awesome." And then immediately after saying that, he said, "But I guess it depends on which metaverse you're in." And then I immediately thought in my head, I was like, that's not, if you have multiple metaverses, then
I mean, there's different
Actually,
metas.
yeah,
It's like we'll take it from the context of a game, right? So if anyone who doesn't know what like the standard phrase is, the current meta, or like this meta, or like the Southeast Asia meta, is the general concepts that a given subculture plays in a game, or like how you play the game based on how the game changes, and so, or like how a group of people decide that like the right way to play the game is this. And so like if I take Dota 2 for instance, it's a game that has 5 people versus 5 people. Everybody picks a hero, and they go 5-on-5 and win the game. Whatever. It's a MOBA. But anyway, like the game patches itself and alters how the game is played slightly, or every couple months or so. And so it drastically changes like how the roles of each 5 players play. And that changes over time, and it also changes depending upon like what region of the world you're in and how the professionals in that region happen to play the game, or how they like to play the game.
Mhm.
And so like in that context, there's a bunch of metaverses because there's a bunch of different ways to view how you're supposed to be doing something.
I just call meta. Like when I think of meta, I think of column headers.
Why?
When I think of meta, I think
Metadata?
Yeah,
they're making
it.
like video game worlds sound cooler than they actually are.
I mean, like when every week, right? When I was playing Call of Duty Warzone, they were like, "What's the new meta this week?" And I was like, "Why don't you just say what weapon does the most damage?" Under the
That's exactly
column
what
where
it
it
is.
says damage, though, if you sort that
That's
by
the
greatest
meta.
to least, that's
Yeah.
the meta.
What's
So I
the
was
most broken thing? That's what the
That's
meta is.
That's the meta. And so when I think everybody's like meta, I always think of column headers. Like every time, I'm like, let's just get down to the
Oh.
brass tacks. There's a column that's getting resorted. All right, that's what's going on here. So let's just cut all the bullshit with this slang and which weapon's doing the most damage and adding the most agility. All right, that is damage versus agility ratio. That's the meta this week.
So NVIDIA, if I just searched the metaverse on DuckDuckGo,
Mhm.
and the first thing is a NVIDIA blog about what is the metaverse. The first thing it says, the metaverse is a shared virtual 3D world or worlds that are interactive, immersive, and collaborative.
Like Minecraft.
Mm.
Yeah. Or like
Meta.
Decentraland, all the land the Landau stuff. The NFT channel's
Mhm.
going crazy about.
Have you ever been
Like-
in Decentraland with VR on?
No, but I've seen videos of it.
It's still pretty kind of
Like
lame.
a couple of buddies of mine, like throw like for a while, all conferences during the COVID were like in different metaverses, and then there'd be NFTs on the wall and shit like that all over the place. Like, and that's why like NFTs make a difference, or why it's even a conversation in crypto world, is because you can showcase unique items in a digital world in a way that you would imagine like showing digital art in the real world.
I just saw a lot of vandalism and dicks on walls.
Well, that's always the case. I mean,
Like there was a
Sorry, I
whole
didn't mean to
museum
laugh at
that I
everyone
walked
seeing
into, and there's just dicks everywhere, in every shape.
what
form,
neighborhood
and
were you in?
shape. I was near the center. I guess I was near. What do they call the center? The
Near the
square?
center.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's like near the city center. There's some
That's-
weird shit in there.
I've
that's-
never been on.
Will it ever not be a human? Everywhere we go, we're gonna draw dicks. It doesn't matter. We could go to a different planet, and
That's what
one
I'm saying. Like
person is
Yeah.
gonna-
people who like talk about the metaverse like it's in some abstract concept that's like super cool. Like when you actually like visit it, it's on a web browser. You can enhance it your viewing experience with VR if you
Enhance.
choose. Yeah. And when you go in it, it's like shittier than Minecraft, or as shitty as Minecraft. And you go, wow, we have like AAA games, but we couldn't make this that good, you know?
Mm.
So I mean, I don't know.
I think, and when it ties into crypto, though, I think everybody is looking forward to the point, and I don't even know if this is possible, if economy will allow this to happen. Is that if I spend all month just grinding away in Final Fantasy 14, I get these cool ass Bamfa, and I can punch a dragon in the throat, kill it one shot, boom, slough, magic flies out, purple, it's glistening. That was so descriptive. Can I take my Banthas and take them out of Final Fantasy 14 and then put them into another game?
I don't know what Bamfa means.
It's
you
it's
mean
a
Tonfa?
weapon. Tonfa?
Yeah, Tonfa are the sticks.
I
with
thought
the
it stood
chain.
for like badass motherfucking accessory. Like I
No.
thought that was an acronym.
Sorry, I got it wrong.
That would be a good acronym. Like
It's Tonfa. They're like Tonfa
Yeah.
are basically the batons that the police had in LA with the you hold it like this and
cool, got it. It's
Yeah.
those Cali sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Cali sticks are sticks, I think, but Tonfas, they're
Oh,
made so if you punch, you're doing damage.
Didn't what's her face in Mortal Kombat use those? The police chick.
I
that
think so.
No one likes
I think so. Sonya.
Sonya Blade.
But if our Tonfas, killing dragons one shot, and then if I could, peel them out of Final Fantasy 14 and pluck them right into Phantasy Star Online, but they also say like, hey, these have killed dragons in multiple games, and you're not going to find these Tonfas in Phantasy Star Online because I brought them over from another game, and they might not be as worth as much here, but at least you'll know that I'm using Tonfas you can never get because I grinded hard and I got them in a different game, right?
I've
That's
talked about this so many times, just like
yeah.
power creep and like multi-world economies and how difficult it is to get right, or impossible for that matter.
It's near impossible. It's like a chaos theory. We need.
That's why
John Nash
it's always
still alive.
aesthetics. Like for most game-to-game proof that you've done something in one game showing up in it as like an accessory in a different game, it's aesthetic. And it's like it's always like stunting. It's only showcasing that you've done something that no one else has, but they can see it. And that's like most of the value behind a lot of the NFT stuff now is showing someone that you've done something that they haven't, and then you being able to prove it by pointing at it in blockchain and your ownership of it.
Dude, maybe that's how it just starts, though, is that you unlock the ability to peel the aesthetic out of one game and put it in another, and then you can level it up in multiple
That's
games.
huge. That'd be huge. That'd be
Right?
super awesome. But like, so here's one thing. So like, if I think about the concept of an NFT as it is today, and like the ERC 721 standard,
Mm-hmm.
right? It is basically a repository or a list of links, if you will, right? It's like here's an attribute and then here's or like key value pairs, right? And the keys are usually attributes that then get rendered some way in some game. For instance, one of the attribute would be picture or photo. It's always a photo because the RC21, the way they're used today. And that's just a link to what photo to use. And then everything that renders an NFT knows how to parse, where do I get the photo? And so when you look at an NFT, you always see the same photo. And so, but in reality, an NFT is only a list of attributes and then values for those attributes. If you think about CryptoKitties, DNA was one of them, or like everyone who's gone through the whole crypto zombies thing has learned that like you have DNA, and then whenever you marry two zombies or do whatever the hell they do for zombies, and you make a new zombie, it mixes the DNA and then does some fun hatching to that, which comes up with a randomization of it, and then you have a new zombie. And that's how you're breeding CryptoKitties. But like the picture part of an NFT is just our way of making it easier to understand what an NFT is. They don't always have to have pictures. It's just one of the parameters or attributes that it started with, and for some reason everyone thinks it has to have that. And so like I don't know what's wrong with that.
I most recently talked to one of the artists that I'm.
Oh yeah, I know. Sorry, I know what's going with that. I need to cut you off, but I want to finish. Who cares? Should have lost it again.
Who cares what the?
Oh yeah, there we go again. Stop talking. So the person who makes an NFT, or like we'll call it a 10Ks, that's what NFT QT likes to call them, who makes this set of this collection of NFTs for a given purpose. Say we'll call it for a game, right? A game says we use NFTs, and so every item that you get, every Bantha or Tomfa or whatever it's called in your game is an NFT. Well, like they hard coded the tributes for those NFTs, attributes. I don't know how you say it.
Depends on if you're British or American.
Yeah, and you're American.
Attribute.
and so like if someone wants to take those and then port them to a new game, they're stuck. They're confined to the attributes that the people who implement it used. You can't add to it. You can make a derivative of it in terms of like taking one and morphing it into a new, different standard or set of attributes. But like you can't alter the original one. Unless the original company says you can, and they've pre-built it in. And so like that takes a lot of work to think about preemptively how you morph that thing or evolve it over time if you want to add anything to it. You can't.
I've never seen a game allow transference of assets from one game to another. Like I can't take like a Dota 2 mount and somehow have it in CS:GO writing next to me. I wish,
I think there's instances of it. There is instances of it, but like they always failed.
Okay. Why did they fail?
The amount of work associated with one game is not equally mapped to the amount of work of a different game, and so you get drastic imbalance.
I see.
And so like you can end up farming something really, really easy in one game, getting a bunch of it, amassing it, and then transferring it to the new game and having an imbalance of power relative to the work people are doing in that one game.
In terms of its function or in terms of its economic value?
Depends on how it maps, how it moves over.
Yeah.
And if you can extract it, then it's even worse. You just end up, it's a farm. If there was a way people can make money or beat something while doing less work than everyone else, they're going to do it. Even if it's a fucking video game.
But that's the nature of like having like that's like two exchanges where the price of one asset is higher, and when you're arbitraging across, right? It's going to be the same thing. The games are the swaps for the exchanges. But that's okay, right? That's okay as long as the game
you may break a
developers
game
behind the game agree that hey, we're going to take profits on the transactions. So however much work it takes to bridge this asset over. Like that's the human conversation that probably needs to take place.
Yeah, sure. They may make a bunch of money, but the game is stupid. You may ruin the game.
It could
for a large group of players.
Unless you just say it's purely aesthetic, which largely they all are cosmetic.
Aesthetics
right?
are fun. Yeah, if it's aesthetics, I don't give a shit.
But I still have never seen that though, Corey.
I've seen it in Diablo a lot.
Oh, okay. What do they do?
Most of the Blizzard games have some form of aesthetic crossplay.
Yeah, they do.
Like so, for instance, like
World of Warcraft and Diablo.
Yeah. So like
in
for instance,
Overwatch, there's whole levels designed to look like World of Warcraft.
Yeah, but
We're
that's not what I'm talking
like
about.
a cosmetic item.
So,
like
like,
something
as your
you-
character in Diablo, each season they like say, for instance, I remember when Overwatch, not Overwatch, what was that? What was that shitty MOBA that came out for like Blizzard?
Uh,
I forget.
Doesn't matter.
League of
They came out.
Legends?
No.
No, it's
No,
not Blizzard.
That's Riot Games.
So anyway, it doesn't matter. They came out with some crappy MOBA that no one plays. But as a marketing campaign, if you bought that, you then got a pet inside of Diablo 2, which is like this aesthetic thing that follows you around. It doesn't do anything. But it picks up gold, but you get a free one. All it does was like a skin for the pet that was one of the characters in that game.
Okay.
Right? And so like that's an example of that, right? Like you have an aesthetic that says you did something in another game in their like gaming universe.
No,
that
but what I
other
want,
people could see.
you tell me if this exists, Corey. What I want is a pet in Diablo to be transferable to Dota 2 as a mount. A courier, rather. Courier.
That'd be sweet.
That's
That'd
what
be
I
great.
want. I want to see that, and then do that in NFTs, and then
So
do that
you're-
in Decentraland.
So your lifelong
Between the
grind can be ported throughout the internet, right?
That would be
basically-
awesome.
You wanna
That-
stunt wherever you can.
That would be
I mean,
ultimate
why not?
nerd
Like,
stunting.
I would love to be able to flex how good I was at GoldenEye and Halo 2 to these young.
Those days are over, bro. You're not
I wanna-
can't prove that.
You know what I'm saying? I can't
You get a
prove how
golden
many.
gun
You know, I can't.
as a
I
skin.
believe you can
to a
earn win
pistol.
items for other COD games from Call of Duty Warzone.
I think that's true too. Yeah, you can. That's another example of like you can do a bunch of stuff between like zombies and all the different Call of Duties will end up giving you some aesthetic in Warzone because they've turned Warzone into the kind of the collaboration of Call of Duty, and all the different games are like ways in which you can play something similar but
So shout
earn
out to,
aesthetics for the Warzone.
Shout out to my man John Nash. Gone too soon. So I think that it's kind of like you remember that scene, A Beautiful Mind, John Nash, bro.
Yeah, was that a shitty transition? Where are you going with this?
Award? No, I'm going somewhere with it. Award-winning, economist, mathematician John Nash, and that scene in A Beautiful Mind where he was like, "If we all go after the blonde, nobody gets the blonde." So like right now, these gaming companies are all going after the blonde. Right? Somebody needs to join them and say, like, hey, you guys should collaboratively work on a blockchain scheme, something to build on so that your games can intermingle with one another.
It's not.
That's a
that.
human
It's not
conversation.
the blockchain. It's the sharing of profits and the sharing of
Exactly.
intellectual property.
That's what I'm
And it's
talking
easy
about.
for Blizzard to do it, right? Because they own World of Warcraft,
They own
Dota
it
2,
all.
and like everything, right? So it's just they're
It's
all games
also
within the same company.
it incentivizes the people of one game to then go buy and play a different game just to get an aesthetic in the game they care about, right? And so like as a company that owns a bunch of games, that's what you want to do. But like you'll need to come up with some type of partnership or cabal or whatever of a bunch of different companies to then
I like that word.
do that across games, and that is less likely because they're not willing to show that. Like you'd have to really show that it benefits both parties by a lot.
Everyone's
more than
going
like
after the blonde.
well, good luck.
They
I mean,
need to not all
I
go
don't.
after the
The
blonde.
gaming companies have been ultra competitive for a long time, and now I think it's ramping up even more, based on like the gaming landscape. It's so much larger than it used to be, and it makes a lot more money because esports is blowing up.
Got one word for you, EA. Co-opetition. Google it. Look it up on Wikipedia.
I didn't know
Don't-
how big the mobile games market was.
It's
Like,
pretty
dwarfs
massive.
every other industry.
It's
And
disgusting.
we can give a shout out to India for that, and Philippines,
China.
and Korea.
China.
I mean everyone. Like
No, it's China,
ev-
largely China.
China.
Yeah.
China.
It's nuts, dude.
Anyways, we talked a lot about things that aren't what we're supposed to be talking about.
Oh,
Off the jump, stable coins. I tweeted something the other day. I'm gonna tweet a little bit more just so I can say I tweeted something the other day. And I said stable coins, and I put it in quotations. Sounds like a marketing is a marketing scheme, and I got 4 hearts. It was great. But I think that stability is in the eye of the beholder. I mean, look, here's the thing: nothing is truly stable. The dollar moves in value, gold moves in value, silver moves in value. Everything moves in value because humanity changes, right? So the idea of a stable coin, I'm just like, they're never going to be stable. And even if you look at stable coins on the price chart, you'll see them do these itty bitty jumps. And guess what, guys? Those itty bitty jumps are what make a small amount of people a shit ton of money, right? That's just the essence of currency exchange, right? When the dollar drops to 99 cents somewhere as opposed to something else, somebody made a shit ton of money off that one penny. A lot of
Can
money
I
off that one penny.
say that what you just said is stupid?
What's stupid about it?
It's like stability is relative.
Yeah, sure.
And that's like that. What you just said is like the human life isn't very long because the universe is so long.
What's wrong
It's
with
like that's it's like a tautology. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like
that?
it doesn't mean anything.
All right.
So like when we call the reference of a stable coin in crypto.
You didn't let me get to my point, man.
All right.
You just cut me off and then called me. That's stupid.
You're talking about like you're talking about stable coins the wrong way. So keep going, and then I'll continue.
On a journey with me.
I will continue.
All right. So I don't even know where I am anymore. We just took a
You
pit
wanted to
stop.
talk about how all stable coins are not stable, but
Got
in
a flat
reality, I agree
tire.
with Corey.
And small
It's all
amounts of
relative.
variation.
Let me get to it. You didn't even let me get to it.
Okay, get to it.
All right. Now I gotta let me fix my flat, put the tire back on, get back on the journey. Jesus Christ, man.
I'll help you.
You know,
I'll
all I
jack up
gotta
the car.
say is if Frodo had this much pushback at the Council of Elrond, he never would have fucking dropped the ring, and he would have been like, "Man, fuck you guys. You fight these orcs on your own. I'm out."
That's what you
All
get
right?
for making me a friend.
Look. So, in order to create stability, we rationalize something, right? We literally rationalize, which rationalization is a powerful, very powerful creation that we did with numbers when we were like, I got all these sticks and I'm used to paying my boy, Jim, the caveman, in whole sticks, but I'm going to pay him in a half a stick. He's like, what do you mean? Look, I'm going to break this shit in half. Like, there we go. We rationalized things. Very powerful things happen when humans started rationalizing. So rationalizing means we take a number and divide it by another number. We modify the number. And that's stability, right? We've now taken a thing and related it to something else, a relationship. So when it comes to stability, what's the base modifier that makes that thing no longer stable? How do we get to that? Who knows that? Who can take advantage of that? Like if we look at DAI, there's a base thing that's making that thing stable. Whoever knows that can always take advantage of it and always be ahead of it 100% of the time. And when that damn stable coin drops one penny, they probably made a few milli.
Maybe.
Ain't no maybe to it, bro. That's what happens.
Okay, then first off, this variation will always happen when you're talking about value.
I know. So
Period. That's all. That's like it's. But like what the mechanism in which people are making money based on that variation, and then driving it back to what it's pegged to, is it's been there. It's already been there. That mechanism that keeps it at a certain peg, and people profiting from it, is the reason it's stable.
It's crazy.
And when you talk about stability, you talk about being able to project a given value over a longer and longer period of time. How stable it is defined by the period of time in which you're able to understand what the value should be in the future. Right?
It's deeper than
and so that is worth a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean,
just in itself, right? And so if you make mechanisms that incentivize the value or what's at stake, or the people holding things at stake, to maintain that peg to a given value, a specific value, so that you can do the forecast, and they make money from it, is the amount of money that they make to maintain something worth that forecast? I think that's where you need to actually make that decision. One is like, is the value behind it and the risk associated with putting it up front as collateral to maintain a specific time forecast valuable, right? So like if you That's the argument you need to make, and I think that it's incredibly valuable. So it's like the amount of money these people make to maintain stability is well worth it. Well, at least in terms of DAI. DAI is a more equitable, fair market for doing that type of thing. It's an experiment in a lot of ways, but
it's a large experiment.
When you take it to something like fiat, like the US dollar, it's drastically different. The ability to abuse, alter, justify, and then say something else to the public around the underlying value behind its evaluation, or like how much you can forecast its value in the future, is very different, and up to a very small amount of people. And the other stable coins in crypto are also different because they're backed by different assets and controlled by different people. And so, like, when you talk about a stable coin, one, can I forecast its value over a longer period of time? And the longer I can forecast that value, the more stable it is, the more I trust it. And what brings volatility into that is the underlying collateral and who has control over it. So what is maintaining that peg to a specific value? And how much variability is it in that, and who controls it and who manipulates it? And so, like to argue with your opinion, that for things like DAI, the value associated with maintaining the peg when it goes out of its variation is well worth the amount, like the profit those people make when compared to the amount of money it's being used for in business to project value in the future.
So you're saying just the accuracy of one's ability to project stability means that they deserve that profit that they get.
Yeah, and the trust associated with it.
The every once in a while micro changes in the stability of a stable.
Well, it's a market. It's an open market. It has to move. What you're relying upon is the mechanisms behind putting it back and how fast it goes back. It'll always move. It's about how fast can you react to like steer it back to where it's supposed to be.
Which brings me to my next point. How anti-fragile is crypto getting to China's bullshit? Like we got it was a pretty big drop from recently. When we're talking about price of Bitcoin, it went from like 50 something to 40 pretty quick, right? But it does look like it's kind of leveling out and headed the what I'm saying is, like, if news like this Evergrande stuff that's going on, like any news from China used to like totally just, it used to ruin people's lives. Well, some lives probably got ruined in the past few days, but like it used to be bear market. This is the end. It's going to be dark, gloomy days for a while. And it doesn't even
death to crypto.
Yeah.
Like every time it happens, like, well, crypto's dead. Every time it happened. They happen a lot. Like every year or more than once a year, China would say something and the market would fluctuate wildly.
Yeah.
Like wildly.
So, but this is like, if you look at it, like it's only 300 billion, right? And it's real estate largely, right? Like Tether's exposure to Evergrande cannot possibly be 300 billion. But look at how much the market shed. It shed like over 200 billion because of that news. Yeah. That's not even related. So when you talk about like the scale of the fluctuations, they're still pretty large. And that news is not even associated with Bitcoin or any crypto like it has been in the past, where the large shifts have been due to China saying that they ban crypto.
Yeah,
you know?
It was like implicitly associated with crypto. Alicia was telling me this right before the show. So I was asking, like, what happened with this Evergrande stuff? And apparently, like, it has to do with Tether and how much debt they have or bonds they have associated with Evergrande debt. And since they can't manage their debt anymore, or like regulations associated with China are making it much more difficult for Evergrande to manage their ridiculous amount of debt, that it creates instability in Tether, which Tether's so tied to Bitcoin. There you go. Like,
I guess it really depends on like what Tether's exposure to Evergrande is, right? But we don't know hard numbers. So at the end of the day, like if the debt is 300 billion, it still doesn't make sense that the market would fluctuate 200 billion. Like, so the magnitude of that small news should not be really crypto related. It's equity market related, but not crypto related. Should not have shaken the market that much, but it did.
Mm.
So I'm not gonna like downplay how much news to some degree affects the emotions of people who are trading crypto.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
all
it's
markets
still
kinda
pretty
do.
large. 200
With your
billion.
emotions, baby.
Yeah.
200 billion is a lot to come out. I'm not gonna lie.
I could use a billion.
Yeah. Slide
What
me
do you
one
do
of
with
those
a bill,
billies.
Corey?
I don't even know.
See,
Go
Like-
go into space and shitting on my employees
I don't
as I do
know.
it. That's what I would do. I'll be like,
I'll take
thanks you
a, I'll
guys
take a
for all-
long break. That's one thing that's going to happen.
Can you imagine the sweaty smile that Jeff Bezos' PR team did when he was up there? Like, I just want to thank all the employees that ever broke their back for me to go to space. I want to thank y'all. This is on y'all.
We made
This is
no
all y'all.
movement for mankind whatsoever.
This PR team was like,
We
I
used
had to
regular ass
smile.
technology to do this. It was just expensive.
Yeah.
We made no measurements. We did no science. Nothing happened up there. Thank you all.
Like, man, I pissed in a bottle to make that delivery 45 minutes out of town. But you
That's
know
so-
what? Bezos got to go to space, so it's all worth it. It's all
I was a part of something not very big.
I
Oh.
saw some article that kind of gave a little like more understanding to the scale at which how wealthy those people are, like Jeff Bezos. Like, so to have 200 billion, right? You would have to make, let's say the average American makes like 60K, right? Which is more than I think the average American makes, but
I think that's true.
3.3 million years of working to get to that. Right? So like
American
when you
dream,
think
baby. We
about
can do it.
When you think about it, right? It's not possible like working any normal job, any extremely white collar job, unless you're in investment banking or investment, just like VC stuff. There's no way you can get that much money. Just no way at all.
yeah.
No, dude, American dream. You can do it. Just come over here and start it
Yeah.
like a taco truck and you just work your ass off. You got it.
Bro, selling tacos is the way to go.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of taco trucks, I don't know why. Maybe it's just unconscious to me. Like I found a taco truck next to this gas station over by my house. It's
Sounds
the
like
only
a
good Mexican food in
combination
all
that
of Maryland.
That sounds like a combination. I found a taco truck next to this petrol station. Oh,
It's
boy.
so legit.
It's
Mexican street tacos.
the sharp tone.
There's nothing in Maryland that's good.
of
And now I
87
know.
octane make the tacos just explode. It's umami. All right, so let's.
Oh yeah, dude, just hop on StreamYard. That shit's free.
Yeah. Who? What's this say?
Wayne
Look
says,
at the
"The way
tele-
you
look at your
guys are
monitor, dude.
talking
What are you
about
doing?"
Bezos."
Dude, I can't talk and read at the same time. Get out
He
of
says,
here. Who
the
does
way
that?
you guys are talking about Bezos is how I imagine 4 billion people on the earth view any of you who can make a YouTube video.
Hey, man.
Nah.
It's going to take y'all 4 billion people 3.3 million years to figure this shit out. Let me give you a hint. Let me save you 3.3 million years. StreamYard.com. There you go.
They don't pay us. We actually pay them. So
Yeah.
I think it's, yeah.
So just
it's
cut it
how
down to
poor.
3.3 million. There you go. Saved y'all some time. Saved some
what are you
generations.
using to generate your background, Jesse? Is this like a GIF?
So I've got, yeah. It's
Don't
GIF.
give him the secret sauce.
I don't care.
Let him learn on his own.
No, I'll help him.
It's not that hard. I just
They can,
Googled it.
he
Just ask
can
them
have a
first.
cool background too.
All right. So
yeah, I'm gonna make a background. You're gonna be left out.
all right. So
Is
one
that a
thing
green
that
screen
we
or no?
No,
Still
no,
not.
it's
It's
just
just really blurry.
it's a room divider.
that's my
Okay.
life back there. There's
That's your
a
life.
black glass whiteboard that I refuse to put up.
Yeah, you buy
Tutorial.
whiteboards and don't put them on walls for years.
Then this was in my office and there's construction going on. Hater. All
Okay,
right, I'm not gonna put it up because I don't want to put it up. You know. I just
what do you
don't.
with a black whiteboard?
So I can write with it.
What do you use to write on it? Hot pink?
That's one of the colors. There's also hot orange and hot blue and hot white.
That's actually really cool.
I don't think
It
so.
is, isn't it?
That's fancy. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in my office and leave all my plans for the businesses on it. So then when I have to do interviews for podcasts and stuff, it's in the background. And everybody thinks the dude's smart when he's got random math equations on a whiteboard in the background.
Or you can just show all your business and.
I'm not going to do that. I'm not that foolish. Famous last words. No. So one of the things we've talked about intermittently in the past, couple months, is I think it is I don't know why, to me, it's a very important story to follow in crypto. And that is what's going on in El Salvador. It's just, I don't know. I guarantee there's 3 miles worth of fuckery written down about what El Salvador is trying to do with Bitcoin right now. People just winging it, showing up to work. Hey, the president said we got to do Bitcoin. We got to figure it out. All right, shit. What are we going to do? I don't know, man. Let's Google it. Like that's what's happening in El Salvador right now. And it's a live experiment, but they're the first nation, really. I think Ukraine's around the corner from doing it too. I was like, you know what? Bitcoin. That's the legal tender. We're going to start using it. And it's just going to be our way of life. It's an interesting experiment. I'm going to see what Alicia has for us to talk
on
to.
the subject. She's talking about central bank of Ukraine to promote fair Bitcoin regulation.
Yeah, and that's
on what's it, Cointelegraph?
I know there's a lot of hey, somebody in this world still thinks we work for Cointelegraph. By the way, I got an email from somebody.
Ooh,
yeah.
Oh no, I get emails that call me Ken still. Like,
yeah.
I get all kinds of emails who have no idea what we do. Someone was telling me an email about the music that I make.
That's they
just shotgun blast stuff, dude.
Yeah. They pick one random episode and they're like, "That's the one I'm rolling with." I need to talk to no.
Let me pull up a work email I have here from Status.
What was I gonna say? So it's a great experiment. Like right now, I saw a picture recently, and this is all PR for the government. But you see a line of about, I don't know, look like 3 to 4 dozen people waiting to use a Bitcoin ATM, which means they're gonna be in line probably for 2 days, considering how fast it takes to use a Bitcoin ATM. But it's interesting to see, a country really giving it a shot.
But they're going to learn a lot of lessons. And so, it's probably akin to how poor the usability of Bitcoin was in the early days.
Mm-hmm.
And how far that's come based on basically a bunch of people losing their money. Like the reason we came up with hierarchical deterministic wallets is because people kept losing their wallet.dat file and everything that was associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, we need a better way to help people secure their own cash so that the process around securing your private keys, or your keys, not your crypto, the process of securing your keys is better. And if your drive fails, you don't lose it. So seed phrases were born. And your ability to keep track of all of your keys across all your chains with a single 12-word seed, right? That it happened because it was a poor user experience beforehand. And people lost money, and so if we use that as an analogy to a government doing it, they're going to have some poor experiences, especially the first ones, and the process of people losing their money. I don't know. Maybe it could go both ways. It could be double-edged sword. It could be a lot of people losing a lot of money or complaining about certain things is going to make them come up with better solutions that are then useful to everybody. Or a lot of people who are able to profit from the manipulation of this end up not making anything better and becoming filthy rich. I don't know.
I think that I guess some of the filthy rich part is there's so many challenges I hope that they don't have to face. And that is what happens if they lose their private keys? What happens if a government loses its private key? Jesus Christ, that would be just silly. But
I hate
that would be silly. Bro.
I don't even, I'm split on that one. My intuition feels okay, it's that much money. they've hired people, a bunch of people, to come up with the process to then give a level of comfort around the security of this thing and it not being able to be stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And then my reality side is like, no, it's not nearly as good as it should be, and it's probably very susceptible, and it's going to get stolen. Like, I don't. Ugh.
So that's,
Ugh.
I guess that's the con of crypto. That nobody, because you always see these pro and con charts when it comes to cryptocurrency about how much better it is than paper money, right? How much better it is than government issued fiat money. And I guess that's a huge con that no one actually puts on the table. And that is, if you're going to be running government entities that do run on cryptocurrency, you have to put redundancy and you have to put security clearance measures in place. But now all of a sudden you've made it that much easier for that person that does have the security clearance to pull some fuckery. So,
I mean, yeah, that's part of the process of setting up the accounts, and then the process of managing how those accounts change and grow and are audited and so forth. And standard auditing procedures, I don't think map very well to how you manage crypto or set up accounts that are multi-signature enough to handle crypto safely. Now, luckily for Bitcoin, it has really secure multi-signatures baked into the protocol. So if they did that, don't know if they did, can't tell, then you're better off. And the fuckery is susceptible to those people who are on the multi-sig, depending on how big it is. Now, multi-signatures of Bitcoin aren't that big. Maybe Taproot later on down the line will make them allow them to be bigger and have more complex logic, but no one seems to be doing shit with that, so who knows? But at best, it's, I don't know, maybe 7. I'm not sure how big a Bitcoin, a native Bitcoin multisig can be off the top of my head.
I think it's 7.
So I'm going to Google that. Well, just making NFTs here. Oh, that's a good Bitcoin.
Yeah, you can be an N in my M. That should be on a shirt. That could be a
we should make that shirt. That's a good Bitcoin, Jesse. I'm pretty impressed with that
man. I'm impressed with Jesse's ability to make NFTs. You see that top one?
You should get yourself like what are those things called? A Wacom tablet? I have one right here. So draw. You have one?
But are you
using it?
My Surface. No. I'm using a mouse.
Use my Surface.
Yeah, the Surface.
Like the Microsoft Surface?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're like a touchscreen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've got a pen.
It's nice.
Yep.
You can be an N in my M, baby girl. That'd be good. That's a good song, bro. That's an R&B song. Somebody needs to write like Jeremiah. What's that guy's name? Not Jamiroquai. Jeremiah. Or maybe Genuine can write that.
You want to write songs somewhere?
He might. I'm gonna tell that to my girlfriend later on. I'm gonna say, hey, you can be an N in my M. She's gonna go, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'm gonna go, don't worry about it, girl. You don't have to talk about it anyways. Because I'll be talking crazy shit. All right, so let's move it along here. While Jesse creates that brilliant NFT that's a 1-of-1, Wayne, by the way. That's going to you, buddy. And there ain't gonna be no minting fees on that. Or maybe there will be. I don't know. Jesse, what do you have in mind for this NFT? How are you gonna get it to Wayne?
I have no idea.
Okay, so we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it.
I can help you. with that. I mean, it's on XDAI, so we'll have to move it. Either he gets on XDAI or someone pays for it to go to the mainnet, which is not cheap.
So, do you think that this regulation scare that's starting to grow from the U.S. is actionable? Like they're going to actually take action, or do you think it's just like the general thing that the U.S. does every year when they're like, "Hey, we're really going to regulate it this year. We promise."
What do you think?
I'm reading how big a multi-sig can be, so y'all go ahead.
Okay. I'm gonna get this conversation going by saying I think
I'm kidding.
that
I'm dead.
I think they're close to regulating. I think that you would be foolish to not think that any year it'll be dropped on the public that the US is regulating and is going to decide who wins and who loses in the US. Right? I think countries on this planet are still stuck in the I need to have all the power mode. And I don't know when we get over that. I think only an alien threat would allow countries to get over that. I'm dead serious. Like, I think it would take, I know that sounds crazy, people listening, but I think it would take like a straight up. Oh, look at that. Look at Luciano. Oh, no, I was reading this comment by Luciano. Make me feel so good about myself. Look at us. Look at us go. Look at us.
What'd he say?
Luciano, you need to tell your friends about us, man. Because we've been doing this for years.
That's why we're not full of followers.
We have great conversation because we're terrible. We have great conversation because we've been doing crypto for a really long time. Corey, we've been working in crypto for like 5 years now, and we know all about this stuff. And we do a really bad job of telling people that we actually make a really good crypto podcast, but not that bad because we have a fair amount of listeners. So, I mean, tell your friends. You'll get an NFT too. Jessie, whip up this man an NFT. Get him going. Luciano Reparo. Hey, become a patron, Luciano.
Why does nothing show you the limitations of the multi-sig in Bitcoin? I think it's only 5.
I'm pretty sure it's 7. Go to BitGo. BitGo would know. That's their shit. That's their jam. Whatever they do, you can rest assured it can be done. And that's
I'm looking for the theory. So all
right.
He wants the documentation,
Wayne, unfortunately at this moment I'm not 1,000% up to speed on all these bills. I know that recently the crypto community was able to change some verbiage in a bill that got passed. I'm not 100% sure. Like I fully understand. Real quick, Luciano, don't show your friends the Cheetos episode or last week's episode. Those are two. You can leave off of the docket.
What was that? Last week because I'm not here.
If
there's a show without Corey, it will not talk about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency whatsoever.
But it will potentially be fun to listen to.
Yeah, the conversation was like this. Hey, Jesse, what do you think about this? And he was like, I don't know, D, what do you think about it? Because I'm too busy drawing this NFT right now. And I was like, I guess I'll talk to myself. That's how we'll do this.
No, I talk to you.
But very sparingly.
Sorry. I'll talk to you more if you ask me to.
Man, Wayne, you've been telling us to watch Crypto Daily for a long time, but I've always wanted to not be that podcast that just regurgitates other people's content. I see a whole lot of spit swapping on the internet when it comes to like putting content out there. But I mean, the threat is kind of looming that the United States is going to regulate crypto and aggressively try to. I don't know what this does for price, but if it allows even a possibility, where's that Dumb and Dumber gif? You're telling me there's a chance that big and large entities will be able to buy, hold, sell, and store cryptocurrency on behalf of their clients, then crypto has officially won at that point. So, I mean, I like that gift too. I do that.
This is interesting.
That's what I look like when I'm looking at my popcorn pop in the microwave, Alicia. I look at it like Birdman's looking out that window. So what is interesting, Corey?
I figured out. I mean, there's a really quality answer in the Bitcoin Stack Exchange. So I was asking what's the limitation on this? And it's basically the size of the redemption script. You're limited by the size of the redemption script, and so that's changed over time. Based on how Bitcoin script has been upgraded. But for the longest time, it was basically 3. Let's see. Originally, there's also like a difference between standard. So there's a certain standard, and then there's like validity. So the standard basically defined it up to 3, to like 1 or 2 of 3, or 3 of 3. So sending a 2 of 4 in multisig in the original standard wasn't like part of the standard, but it would be considered valid. And so the next question is like, all right, so what scripts are considered valid? Like if you built one, would it work, and would a Bitcoin transaction be considered valid? And the answer is that's changed over time, and it also depends on how big of the size keys you use. Because for Bitcoin keys, there's compressed and uncompressed keys, and with SegWit, it even introduces a little bit more. So like you can, I think with let's see, in the standardness of version 0.9, which is a little old. I think around 0.10 now. I'm not sure. It was, you can go up to 1 of 12, 2 of 10, 3 of 8. And so like, depending upon your scheme dictates the size or the number of keys you have to include and like the definition of standardness, which then dictates the size of the overall transaction or like the redemption script. And so it depends is basically the answer in Bitcoin. With smart contracts and Ethereum, it's much different, and so it doesn't really matter. You kind of do whatever you want. It's just the I would say the security of Bitcoin multisigs is greater than the security of Ethereum ones. Ethereums are just, you can do a lot more with them, a lot more with them, and you can hold more than one asset.
I was trying to come up with something, but all I could say is validity. That's it. That's all I got. It's such a good, man, I really love System of a Down for creating that reality for everyone now. Anywhere that ends with E, you can do that.
Any word.
You can do that too. You can even do it with,
what are you making?
It's your NFT.
That's surprising.
What?
That's surprising that you can't recognize it.
That actually looks like a coin. Looks like a casino coin.
It'll be funny when you guys realize what it is.
He's in it. He's in it to win it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
By the way, Wayne, that's going to be 320 ETH for that NFT. Just
letting you know.
Just letting you know. And I've come to that value as a fair market standard of my brain, and that's how much I think that NFTs work. No, I'm kidding. All right. So while Jesse's doing that, we need to talk about some of the biggest news of all.
Oh,
you know,
Alicia told me.
What's he say?
It's our logo.
Is it?
It will be.
Oh shit! Yeah, it is our logo.
I couldn't see the color change in between the two circles. Ooh, this will be good. Good luck, man.
Like Wayne says,
You got some some high resolution work in there.
I love how locked in Jesse gets on these NFTs. Like he's in there. He's in there like swimming.
The moment we lose him on conversation is like, I'm gonna go make an NFT. I'll see you later.
No, he got derailed because Wayne was like,
yeah, Wayne wanted an NFT. He said, I want an NFT
that.
BP, and hence I am making one for him.
I see it, dude.
Yeah.
I know one thing. Before you get
It
that
wasn't
haircut,
that I got bored with the conversation.
before you get the haircut, if you get that haircut ever, we're gonna have to NFT it somehow. Because, geez, man,
We gotta do the boots too. I still need the boots. I gotta put
That's
the boots
true,
on.
dude. What happened to the boots?
Oh, they're sitting right here. I'm staring at them. I haven't gone outside.
Tom Brady. One, I think it's so beautiful that athletes are really diving headfirst into crypto. I think it's gonna have so many effects and push towards mass adoption in such a large way. Like, I could go into facts I don't know about history, about how important sports are to humanity, but just think about it and you'll say like, oh yeah, sports are really important to humanity. All right, go back to the Colosseum, go back to those killing Incan Indians. Was it Incan, Mayan? Wherever they had like the stadiums, they played like the kind of soccer game, and then whoever lost the soccer game probably got
Aztecs.
offed. Aztecs, there we go. Sorry if I was generalizing Native Americanism. I think that's what I'm going to say there. Probably got in trouble. Who cares? But sports are important to society. And with all these professional athletes of all sports, and now the athlete of all athletes in America, Sir Tom Brady, I hate that I had to say that, but respect has to be given because
He's a sir now.
I
Oh,
mean,
no,
if he could be knighted, he would be knighted. Like, let's be serious here. He's a sir in all, intents and purposes in America. So Tom Brady had publicly said he's willing to take some of his salary in Bitcoin recently, which is a big deal. Like that's a bigger deal than it's being made let on, because he doesn't make a little bit of money, and if he can convince his organization to do what they need to do in order to legally pay him in Bitcoin, then it's going to be a very, very quick waterfall effect of other athletes choosing to do the same. I think the first athlete was that offensive lineman who's really, really big into Bitcoin. Starts with the O.
I know you're talking about. I don't know his name though. That happened a while back.
He's got a really African name, but he accepted Bitcoin, his salary in Bitcoin 1 year, and like he's now worth a shit ton more, right? And so it's just going to be more commonplace. And with companies like Bitwage, who, if you're listening, I'm still interested in having that conversation about sponsorship. I'll let everyone know that I want to get sponsored by Bitwage.
We'll throw a general purpose. We'll take sponsorships out there. Pitch us your sponsor. Yeah. We may turn it down. But we're interested in sponsorships.
There's about an 80% chance we're going to turn your sponsorship down. But
speaking of which, we still doing nut shaving?
I mean, we should. I think. Yeah, we should. Hey, we might want to mark this time, the 56th minute. Let's do this. Today's show is brought to you by Manscaped, and I present to you the Lawnmower 4.0, designed for grooming. If you can see that, designed.
Our cameras suck.
If you head on over to manscaped.com, yeah, they're not very good. If you head on over to manscaped.com, you can get yourself a Lawnmower 4.0 amongst other things. But what this puppy is designed to do is shave your balls. So, it's got a nice, easy to push button on there. I haven't charged this one since I received it.
Is that the one you're using?
No. This is one I received 2.5 months ago. You can see it's on. You can hear it's on. It's still going. It's still got a charge in it. 66% charged. You can see that light. Or at most 66% charged. We've got, it's got this plastic here, so it doesn't hurt when you get pinched. I've pinched, it's inevitable that you're going to pinch your nuts, right? And Mom, just don't listen to this ad. My mom came to visit me, so it's inevitable that you're going to pinch your nuts, right? You're shaving them. But at least with plastic, it's going to feel okay. It might even.
I haven't done that yet.
You freak. You never pinched your nuts while shaving?
Not with that. Not with a Manscaped.
Oh, exactly. It's because of these plastics.
Done it with everything else.
Yeah. That's I haven't done it with these yet either. I probably will because you're in a rush.
I'm more careful with the light. I'm more careful with the light. I'm not there's no guesswork involved.
So, there's a light so you can see your ball hair, right? And the thing about that is in the dark, when you're showering in the dark, but you also need to see your balls, there's a light on there for you to do that, right? So if you go to you get a Lawnmower 4.0, you're good to go. I suppose it's not just for the dudes. Ladies can use but I'm sure they're getting Brazilians and all kinds of stuff too.
I would imagine they're trying to come up with a separate line that's branded specifically for women.
Yeah, but women
seems like something a company would do.
It'd just be kind of awkward if I walked in on my girl and she had, a razor down there. I'd be like, whoa.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would. I would be like,
would it be awkward if she walked in on you and you had a razor down there?
No, it'd be understood. It'd be like, this is what men do. We shave our balls. But
that's sexist.
Wait, why is there a double standard?
Because they don't have balls.
That's it?
I mean, well, no, just...
you heard it here first, folks. It's a double standard. Double standard because women don't have balls.
That's going off the rails. I'm sorry, manscaped.com. Don't pull us. Don't pull us. We're doing all right with it.
They're not going to follow up.
Yeah, so just like the icon shows here, your balls will thank you. That's angel wings cradling testicles.
It always looks like fingers and hands to me. It's like Stop it.
Really?
But, like,
Yeah. So, go out and get yourself one of these.
I will
Use
say
the,
it's actually pretty nice, the Manscaped.
it is, isn't it? Like, I've
Yeah.
heard no complaints
that's your contribution.
from my lady.
It's pretty nice. That's-
Pretty nice.
All right, y'all want to wrap it up? I got an hour in.
Yeah, let's go ahead and riggedy wrap. I hope. Oh, wow, he did it, Corey. He did it.
Oh, I want to zoom in back on this.
Oh, the headphones
That
are
is
awesome.
good.
Oh,
I think it's
my
pretty damn good.
Jesse, I'd like to see you give yourself a pat.
I mean, I think some part of it has to have the handcrafted artisan touch to it.
Mhm.
That is imperfection.
Okay.
So, if anything, it makes it worth more
Okay.
because it wasn't factory farmed in some
gonna do-
in some gross field that's gonna cause a virus to take over the world. It was made in a small USA only local growing organic free range factory.
Non-GMO.
We need to give this a story. so we can-
Non-GMO. That's
Vegan.
We need to get
Vegan
this a story. So
a
Wayne
vegan
can-
NFT if I've ever seen one.
Dude, I think that could be a phrase, like vegan NFT.
So here's the deal. It could be actually
Guaranteed
Yeah.
to make it sick.
We need to give this a story so Wayne can resell it for 380 ETH, right? And he'll only ever be able to sell it to other Waynes. But we got to start there.
Vegan. Isn't that what they put for vegan?
I think that's it.
I think that's it. That's a vegan NFT right there. I don't think any animals are wrong. Somebody could find a way to.
Wayne, do you
that.
want the vegan on there or not? You can just say yes or no.
Certified vegan. He probably doesn't want that. That looks dumb.
Oh, there's a thing.
Ah, that's right. Um,
Look at us engage with our audience.
I like it. This is good.
This is
Bring
what
it
happens
up.
when you join the show live and you say things.
So I'm gonna do a
Russell
casting call.
Okung. Russell Okung was the football player.
Okung, that's his name.
Thank you, Alicia.
Man, that's a great last name, Okung. So let's. I want to do a casting call. I like doing casting calls. It usually results in somebody wanting to help out. What I would love to have is a Bitcoin Podcast Network specific Slack letter, right? It's like a newsletter, but it doesn't come to your email. It's gonna come to your Slack. It's gonna come to your email when we @channel you guys, right? And what I would like to have is like a Slack letter that we could do maybe twice a month. Keep it easy. Someone could aggregate important news that gives us the depth and breadth that we're looking for in all of crypto.
We could do it.
Right.
We could do it with. You have to own a certain NFT to get access to a channel.
We could, and that would be great to do. I think we should do something like that. And we'll sell these NFTs. If you buy the NFT, you get access to this channel where you get alpha Slack letters, and we could call it alpha leaks if that's not a thing, right? And that's what we're looking for. So first, we're looking for the person who would be willing to do that for the podcast network and willing to obviously reap the rewards for doing that for the podcast network. And then we'll come up with the scheme so that those rewards can be funneled to you. We know that you're going to be a big brain galactic thinker. So that's what we're looking for. Like, I think we should have a newsletter. I think we should have a regular way that we ping our listeners with information that we're providing them outside of just listening to the show. So if you want to be that person and you like collaborating with Jessie, myself, Corey, Alicia, Daniel, and Snake Eyes. I'm going to call him Snake Eyes, Corey. Because he's
All right.
mysterious, you know what I mean? Doesn't talk, he's mysterious.
Okay, got
Yeah.
you. Okay, I've caught up.
You got to be with me.
I'm all caught up now. Yeah, I guess I'm just after this guy.
Then please join the Slack. Say, hey, I heard the casting call. I want that to be me. I want to be that guy who gets to cover the depth and breadth of crypto and give it to the audience here of the 861 people in Slack. But only like 100 of you guys are active every week.
I'm
So-
sure some of those folks are like old folks. Even the dudes we kicked may still be counted in that number. So it's hard to say.
Okay.
For marketing purpose, we use it, but
So let's riggedy wrap. So
Oh yeah, I wanted to say I did a explainer video on hashing it. Like I did it for status. We do these things called learn ups where core contributors do give like a educational lesson about part of their domain expertise. I did one on hardware wallets, which actually goes into the theory on how wallets are made in cryptocurrency, and then how hardware wallets play into why they're useful and how to keep your secrets safe, and then some best practices and ideas on how to buy them and how to use them. So I put this on the Hashing It Out podcast, which will be coming back to this feed soon. But if you just Google, if you go to YouTube, go to the Hashing It Out page, it's when I put it under the Learn Ups playlist, and I'll be posting those regularly as we make them in status.
You know, as someone who has learned from you, you are a good teacher. I'll say
Thank
that.
you. I appreciate that.
So,
I put a lot of effort into like structured content for teaching somebody something. I don't put a lot of effort into doing these podcasts. So,
No, you do end up teaching, and yeah, he's right.
I
Wait a
care about
second.
explaining things, but I don't prepare or like get nervous or worried or like this doesn't take energy out of me. Let's put it that way, because I'm not putting a lot. I'm just showing up and I'm being myself for these podcasts. When I do like structured educational content, it takes a lot out of me because I'm putting a lot of effort up front, and I care a lot about the content itself. And so when I'm done, I'm usually like tired.
Yeah, that makes sense.
that back wall is just going to be covered with NFTBP NFTs.
NFTBPs?
NFTBPs.
NFTBPs? I think
I think that's
that's
it.
what I'm going to make an avalanche.
NFTBPs.
I'm going to go make a bunch. They're going to be the token you need to get the news Slack letter.
NFTBPs. I like that. So,
All right. Let's cut this off. I'm going to go figure that out.
Hold up. I got to do the shout out. Patreon.com. You can become a patron. That's where we're going to do our NFT drops. So the NFTs are only going to be available on the Patreon channel, right? So NFTs are a big deal. And, and the offset that we become a big deal and you've got some of our NFTs, guess what? You're now a big deal. Sell that shit, baby. 380 ETH. Make a living. All right. Then you can join the Slack. Go to the bitcoinpodcast.com. Press the button that says Slack. Join us. Very simple instructions.
Stop with a pen, dude.
Oh, shit. You hear that?
Yeah.
Yes.
We hear
bad.
them.
You heard it the whole time?
Yes.
No.
Why didn't you say
Oh,
anything?
really? I just noticed it just now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Whatever
so
you've been
sorry.
doing, whatever you're doing in the past minute or two, have been.
Oh, no. I apologize. It's just so hard because it's such a good click. You see it? It's a good click on that.
We
pin.
hear it.
It's got a good click on that pin. All right. So,
Can you wait? I just want to. Can you imagine a keyboard where they clicked, and you
I
built
can.
it, and it felt great?
Look, listen. It's not
Okay,
like Corey.
You
Corey's
may resume
clicks,
the ending.
Corey's clicks could like summon Godzilla. All right, like if you
I think they're cherry blues,
like
Those are
which are like
crunchy.
the worst.
Those
The
are
worst
pretty
of the
crunchy.
crunchies.
Yeah, pretty
I
tough.
just love the. If you haven't seen Godzilla versus Kong, one, it's a way better movie than you think it is, than you think it's gonna be, and two, my favorite scenes are when they're like following Godzilla closely, and he realizes there's another monster on the planet, and he turns around and is like, "Is Godzilla gonna have to smack a bitch?" Like every time, like Kong wakes up, he's like, "Oh hell no, I gotta go fight that dude." Like I wish. Like that would be such an easy existence. Like if there's others like me, I must go fight them because there can only be one of me. Like that's such an easy existence to me. I feel like it's a lot of the animal kingdom. Like, hey, you look like me.
Highlander.
But
It's
not
all Highlander.
quite. Yeah, you look like me, but not quite. So we're just gonna have to fight to the death now, right?
Dude, my dog's all about that life. There ain't no boys walking in this house. No
You look
boy
like-
dogs come in this house.
Oh, are you a boy dog? You look like me, but not quite.
We're
It's like we're fighting. That's how it goes. If you on your podcast app, if you want to give us 5 stars or mics or hearts or whatever they do on your app, please give that to us. Give us a rating. It does help us give visibility on those apps because they work on these like rating algorithms.
The
They're, you know,
algorithms.
the algorithms, the gods.
I hate asking people to do things on whatever apps they're on. so much.
It does.
It's like
it feels
every YouTuber is like, please like, subscribe, and add something in the comments because that's what the algorithms want. Like, go fuck off. Just
It feels very like peddling, does it not? It feels like the digital version of us.
people want to have bigger numbers than they currently have, so they get more revenues. They can make a living doing this stuff. Just find a better way to do that.
Oh my god, dude! I had a nightmare about the creator economy the other day, but we can't go into that. Maybe that'll be next week.
Listen, don't listen. It's fine. Whatever.
Shout out to Kim Bozak, man. I know you might be listening. Every once in a while, you check us out. You got to come back. We have to catch up because
He was
your
traveling
story
last time I talked to him.
from beginning to end to now is like something that has to be discussed.
Yeah, that's like an interview in itself. Like we just have him on for an interview because it's like that dude's been through life.
I still have your original business card, Ken, that you sent me.
Do you really? Is it the cartoon characters that he made for us too?
Yeah, I keep it.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna keep it forever because it was an interesting story.
Frame it.
Let's see. I don't know who that is. Shout out to Captain Pex, I guess. Shout out to old long neck and wide-faced Zoe Saldana. My mom's listening to all this. This is gonna get offensive. Let's keep it rolling.
He's like off the screen staring at you with a disapproving look, just like.
Shout out to that dude who tried out to be in the Yakuza, but definitely got rejected.
That's
He's
some
from the
serious.
Try Guys.
Shout out to what'd you say, Jesse?
That's Eugene from the Try Guys.
What's the Try Guys?
What's the Try
It's
Guy?
it was a segment of BuzzFeed, and they become really popular, and they realized they could leverage their popularity and be their own entity as a business, and so they did that, and they became the Try Guys. They have millions of subscribers on YouTube,
Oh,
and
I thought it was
Eugene
a
is
group of dude with long dongs.
What are
Try
you watching on TV, Jesse?
I have like very different interests.
I am interested in those different interests. The worlds you're in
Yeah,
are very
so
different
Eugene
than the worlds I'm in.
does part drag too. It's pretty interesting.
Look
Yeah.
at the energy that's beaming from Jesse's head. You got to match that energy. If you're not matching that energy,
All right, gonna have to get a GIF.
yeah.
Time to outmatch Jesse's energy.
Shout out to Issa Rae.
Dude, you're gonna get so outmatched.
Teach me how to
shout
play
out
Dota too.
there's a lot going
Watch the
on
videos.
there.
I
looks
am.
like Erica Badu, Jack Harlow, Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Nas
Lil
X, and Pete Davidson.
That's Pete Davidson for sure on the left.
Man, that was a nice. I don't know why
Good job. I could
Celebrities
have done
stick
any
in
of those
my head.
people other than
They
Pete
just-
Davidson.
they stick in my head. Like I
Not
saw a
Lil
picture
Nas?
of like Rachel Leigh Cook the other day.
I think
from
D
All
just
That.
just reads like tabloid magazines. That's what he's doing in his spare time.
No, I'll tell you what I did do in middle school. I watched a lot of E Entertainment
Yeah, you
because-
did middle school. You still do that.
because while on E, well, I don't even know what channel it's on anymore. What is
By middle school, you mean real life right now? Then probably.
Yeah, it's on in my other room actually. And I was, I just got through looking at what's going on with the Met Gala, and you know what? Some of those dresses, I don't know, it was a little
They're
bit
see-through.
messy. Yeah. Shout out to Zazie Beats. So give me something hard. So give me somebody hard.
Why we do this though?
Because I don't know, it's something that we do, Corey. We have rituals, man. Rituals are powerful.
Rituals
are
are
stupid.
powerful. No,
They're
they're actually pretty important.
Yeah, for dumb people.
That's really tiny, but that's either Adele, Christina Aguilera, or I mean, there's a lot of white women that look like that, Alicia.
It's really tiny. It's kind of blurry.
Who
What's
is
an
that?
ant?
Give me a shout out. Who is that? Give me a hint. Hold up. That's probably in our notes here.
I have stopped caring.
Well, it's not even in our notes.
Jesse has embodied Nyan Cat power beams from his brain.
I'm gonna have a hard time finding a better GIF.
It's fucking awesome.
All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Can you say that anymore? Nobody tunes in. There's no radio frequency. Maybe there's Thank you for
There they are. There's a podcast.
tuning into the podcast on your AM radio. And thanks for tuning into us, guys.
Thanks for typing in your URL or
Yeah.
clicking through on your phone. We appreciate it.
We're gonna go grab a cigarette and some cocaine because if you're tuning
Nothing
into
sounds as good.
us, you're definitely on an AM radio. All right, play the outro.